Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today I will show you how to set up and configure the debugger in Visual Studio Code for React.js. Debugging is an essential part of development. Using a debugger lets you go through your code step by step and see what's happening with your variables and fix issues faster without relying heavily on console logs. This makes debugging more efficient and enjoyable. First, ensure you have Visual Studio Code, Node.js and npm installed and a React project ready to go. If you don't have React project, you can create one with command npx create React app and then provide your application name. Let me show you how to create a React application. First, go to terminal and then type npx create React app space give your application name. Here I am just giving my app as application name. Okay, this is the command. This is the command to create a React application. To create a React application or React project. To create a React project. I have already created one React project, so I'm not going to run this. I'm not going to run this. Okay. This is about creating React project. Now the thing is, once you are done with creating your React project, to configure the debugger, open the run and debug view by pressing Ctrl Shift D. Okay, by pressing Ctrl Shift D. Now what we have to do is click on create a launch.json file. Click on create a launch.json file. Okay, click on it and then select web app Chrome from the drop down list and then select web app Chrome from the drop down list. This will create let me zoom out. This will create a launch.json file in a new .vs code folder, okay, VS Code folder. Now here we have to do one change. That is, change the port 8080 from 8080 to 3000 in URL. In URL parameter, we should change the port from 8080 to 3000 and then save. Now open a terminal and then run your application. Open your terminal and then start your application. The command to start your application is npm start. Okay, use this command to start your React application. So I have already started my React application, so I'm not going to do that again. I have already started. Okay, let me close this. And then now the thing is, we already started our React application. Okay, now go to run and debug view again. By clicking on Ctrl Shift D. Here what you have to do is press F5 or click the green arrow to launch the debugger and open a new browser instance. Okay, a new browser instance. Click on it. See, it opened a new browser instance. Now let's try debugging. I will set a breakpoint. In React component. Let me go to reactions button component. Here I can set. See, the thing is, if you want to set breakpoints, you can simply set breakpoints by pressing next to line number. By clicking on next to line number. Just click on here. So now I added a breakpoint. Okay, breakpoint in our reactions component or reactions button component. Now the thing is, Now the thing is, I will show you how to use you see here, how to use step over, step into, step out, step out. I will show you how to use step over, step into, step out to navigate through your code. You can also inspect variables, call stack, if you add any, if you can even add expressions to watch, and then you can check if at all any loaded scripts are there, okay. Let me show you. I have added a breakpoint here. Now what I do is, I simply go to application and then place my cursor over like. See, now my execution passed at line number 13. Let me show you the functionalities of step over, step into, and then step out. Okay. Let me tell you what exactly step over, step into, and then step out. Step over runs the current line of code. And skips over any function calls. Letting you continue with the main flow. Step into goes into a function to see what happens inside. If you want to exit a function, we use step out. Which runs the rest of the function and passes right after. Okay. Let me show you in practical. Now our execution stopped at line number 13. Okay. Let me tell you or use step over. That is F10. Press F10. If I press F10, my execution stops at line number 14. Okay. Press F10. See here, it's done with executing line number 13 and then stopped at line number 14. This is about step over. That means it simply execute the current line and comes to the next line. It won't go into or inside a function if it's a function call. Here it's a function call. Log statement is a function. I am calling that here. If I press F10, that is step over, it won't go inside function. It simply execute the function and come out of it and then stops at the next line. That is about step over. Let me stop my browser and then start again to show you how step into works. Now let me launch again. Here my application started. Okay, let me place over my cursor over line X, like. Now it's at line 13. Now here I want to use step into. That means I want to go inside a function while debugging. If I press F11, that is step into, my execution comes and stops at 32. Okay, let me show you. Press F10, not F10, F11. Step into is F11. Okay, press F11. See here, my execution, or I went into the function. Execution went inside function and then stops at first line of the function. Now here, let me try step over again. So I'm done with 32 line. I came to 33 line. Now from this, I don't want to debug the remaining 2 lines of code. I simply come out of this function. And stop my execution at next line, that is 14. So for that, if I want to do that, I simply use step out, that is shift F11. Let me press shift F11 and then see here, it skipped or it just executed the remaining lines and then directly came to the line number 14. That is about step out. And then if you observe here, while debugging, you can watch all your variables, and if at all any expressions added to your watch block, you can check them, and call stack, as well as any loaded scripts. any loaded scripts. This is all about our video today, where we successfully set up the debugger for React, in Visual Studio Code. Okay, this is all about today's video. I hope you found this very useful. If you did, please like the video and subscribe for more tips and tutorials. See you next time. Thanks for watching.